Is caffeine destroying your training and your night shifts? Well, stick around and I'll share with you my experience with cutting out coffee for the past 2 months. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Spencer Ball, the Shift Work Athlete. So today I want to share with you guys my experience with cutting out coffee. So far, it's been 2 months since I've cut out coffee and I've been feeling absolutely amazing. I drink usually a 20-ounce Yeti cup full of coffee on the daily with no holding back. I usually drink it black. I don't add anything into it, maybe cinnamon, or I'll do the bulletproof coffee. But I have done this for over 2 decades now, and I thought personally that it was a performance enhancer, but I think what happens over time as you continue to drink coffee, it starts to decrease its effect on your body and starts to become more of a negative effect. Some of those negative effects are different for everybody. So for myself, I find that with drinking coffee on the regular, my stomach or my gut lining was starting to either decrease or just become damaged overall. So I've been dealing with some GI issues, gut issues now for I would say about a year or two, and also with the flip-flopping back and forth with my circadian rhythm. So there hasn't been any sort of consistency there with how my body has been able to regulate itself. So it's been pretty crazy. There's been a few other benefits that I have been experiencing since I cut out coffee. Another one was that my heart rate during training has been decreased about 5 to 10 beats lower. So I find when I do have coffee before any training session, I have to pee more frequently. And then also that my body's temperature seems to rise much faster. And when it starts to rise, I feel that my body stays at that high temperature, which increases my heart rate overall throughout my training session. So that has been a huge benefit for my personal training to stay at a much lower heart rate for a longer duration of time and not peak and then stay at that peak and make it harder for my body temperature to stay down. So I am naturally a very hot person, especially when I sleep, and when I train, I do sweat quite a bit. So anything that I can do to keep my heart rate low is a huge win for me when it comes down to my training. So another benefit that I have came across is when I'm waking up after a night shift, I notice that my mind isn't cloudy anymore, and I'm able to wake up much faster, which was very noticeable about 2 weeks after I quit drinking coffee. So the final benefit that I have came across with cutting out coffee is inflammation and cortisol levels. So because with flip-flopping shifts, and if you're a shift worker in general, our cortisol levels are out of whack. So with drinking coffee is spiking our cortisol level and it's putting more stress on our body. With more stress on the body means it's harder for inflammation in the body to be decreased, especially if you're an athlete. So cutting out the coffee has actually made my body be able to recover much faster is what I'm finding. I'm not as sore the following day after a training session, and then just also decreasing the cortisol. So stress on the body can be healthy to a certain limit, but I find when you are increasing that limit could actually be quite detrimental. So decreasing the stress on the body or the inflammation on the body is going to be extremely beneficial towards your training and then your overall body recovery. So drinking coffee chronically can also have some negative effects on the body, and some of those negative effects are decreased sleep as you get older, decreased deep and the quality sleep that you have, rapid heart rate, anxiety, depression, restlessness. So if you're somebody that has a hard time staying still as you sleep, that will actually, coffee will actually contribute towards that. And then frequent urination and tremors. So with drinking coffee on a regular basis can actually do more harm than good. So one thing to be very mindful of when it comes down to consuming coffee or caffeine in general is that it takes about 10 to 12 hours to actually clear out of your system. Try to plan to have your last cup of coffee roughly around 8 or 10 a.m. Then that way you should be good around 8 or 9 p.m. when you decide to go to bed. Giving yourself a bigger window of time to let the caffeine clear out of your system will give you a better opportunity to have a much better and higher quality of sleep. So I know a lot of us enjoy having that coffee in the morning, but there are tons of alternatives out there. One of the biggest ones that I have turned to is drinking tea, and puka is my favorite replacement for drinking coffee. Puka's a really good one. I highly recommend them. There's a link in my description below, so try them out and see how it works for you. Another good option is bone broth. So there's beef broth and there's different types of broths out there that you could also drink. You could add your own spices to it. I personally like to put in salt and pepper in mine and turmeric with the bone broth. So that is another alternative that you could use to replace having coffee. All right, guys, so I'm happy to say that my gut issues have gotten much better. Like I said, it's been 2 months now since I fully cut out coffee. These are just my opinions and my experience with cutting out coffee. You can still drink it. I'm just looking out for the quality of your sleep and also your digestion. Anything that you can do to decrease the stress on the body is just going to allow you to perform better, sleep better, and just be a better version of yourself overall. Please share in the comments below about your experience with cutting out coffee and how it has made you feel. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share this with your friends and family that are also shift workers. I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. Have yourself a good week. Peace.